My name is the prophet Samuel. I am from the tribe of Levi.
What's a tribe?
Good question. Abraham had a son named Isaac. Isaac had a son named Jacob, or Israel, and Israel had 12 sons. The oldest of those sons was Reuben. He was the father of a tribe of people, the tribe of Reuben. The youngest son was Benjamin. Benjamin was also the father of a tribe of people, the tribe of Benjamin. Levi was also the father of a tribe, the Levites.
Thanks for explaining.
Now God brought these 12 tribes, through the wilderness right to the border of Canaan.
Yay! Hooray!
Do you remember what God commanded the Hebrews to do when they invaded Canaan?
Remove all the people of Canaan and kill all those who refuse to leave.
God was punishing the people because of their horrible sinning.
We like sin.
It was the Canaanites that defeated the Hebrews, or I should say, the religion of the Canaanites.
We like sin.
The Canaanites worshipped terrible idols.
We like sin.
The Canaanite religion actually had temple prostitutes as a part of their wicked worship.
We like sin.
And the Canaanites would bring their children and burn their children alive as sacrifices to their so-called gods.
We like sin.
When the Hebrews invaded Canaan, God commanded them to kill or remove all of the Canaanites. But after Joshua died, the Hebrews just stopped fighting.
What?
The Hebrew people settled down in their farms and villages and cities and lived next door to the Canaanite people. And the Canaanites brought their gods and goddesses and statues and magic spells and invited the Hebrews to join them.
We like sin. We like sin. We like sin.
And the Canaanites also had their temple prostitutes and secret rituals in the temple.
We like sin.
When the Hebrews joined the Canaanites in their sin, God punished the Hebrews with foreign armies who invaded their villages, stole their wheat and corn and cattle and sheep.
Oh no!
The people would cry out to God in suffering.
God save us!
And then God would raise up a man to defeat their enemies in great battles.
We like God.
And the people would put away all their idols and would return to worshiping God alone.
We like God.
But
Oh no!
they still had not removed their Canaanite neighbors.
What?
And the Canaanites brought their gods and goddesses and statues and magic spells and invited the Hebrews to join them.
We like sin.
And when the Hebrews joined the Canaanites in their sin, God punished the Hebrews with foreign armies who invaded their villages, stole their wheat and corn and cattle and sheep. It all happened all over again.
Oh no!
And it went on like this, on and on and on and on, until
Oh no!
the people finally decided that they were tired of this constant pattern of sinning, suffering, seeking, and saving. They decided their solution was for God to give them a king.
Give us a king! Yeah!
Since all the other nations had a king, they wanted to have a king too.
Give us a king! Yeah!
Why do you want a king?
We want a mighty warrior.
Someone who is tall and handsome and strong.
We want someone who will listen to our needs.
We want someone who can organize our armies.
God, they want a king. I told them it was a terrible idea, but they want to copy the other nations. What can I do?
Give them what they want, Samuel. They are not rejecting you, Samuel. They are rejecting me.
Give them what they want, but...
Yes, Samuel. Give them the king they want.
So God led me to find exactly the king they wanted. And his name was Saul.
My name is Saul, but I don't want to be king.
Saul, you'll be a fine king if do what God commands you to do.
But what if God commands me to do something that makes the people mad?
Do what God wants and let him worry about the people.
Yes, but what if they all leave me because God tells me to do something they don't like?
Everyone leaves you except for God. You'll still have everything you need. If nobody leaves you except for God, you'll have nothing.
But...
What's wrong, Saul?
Prophet Samuel, do you remember the time that you told me you would come in 7 days to offer sacrifices to God so that God would be with us in battle against the Philistines? Boy, that was a mess.
Oh, I remember. How I remember.
I waited and waited and waited for you, Samuel. You didn't come when you said you would come.
I told you to wait for 7 days until I came to you to show you what you should do. But
I waited and waited and waited, and you still didn't come.
And why was that a problem, King Saul?
Well, to be honest, the people started getting very nervous.
I had warned you that you must obey the Lord no matter what the people thought.
That's easy for you to say, Samuel. But it's pretty hard to do when the people all start leaving to go back to their farms and villages.
And so what? If they all left, but you still had God with you, if every single person left,
I wouldn't be king any longer.
that's always your problem, Saul. You were always more worried about what the people thought than what God thought.
And I waited and waited and waited and...
We get the idea, Saul.
So, I decided just to go ahead and do the sacrifice without you being there. And just as I finished the sacrifice, you arrived.
I most certainly did arrive.
Boy, were you mad?
God was angry, Saul. You proved that day that being strong is nothing. The only thing God cares about is your trust and obedience.
Same thing happened when you commanded me to kill all the Amalekites and their animals. And I saved the best and didn't kill them because...
Because why, Saul?
Because the people wanted to save the sheep and cattle for sacrifices and for themselves. Boy, you were really mad at me.
God said to me,
I am sorry that I made Saul king. He has turned away from me and disobeyed my commands.
I was so angry, and all night long I pleaded with the Lord. Then I journeyed to where you were, Saul. You said to
The
me,
Lord bless you, Samuel. I have obeyed the Lord's commands.
if you obeyed God's commands, why do I hear sheep and cattle making noises? They should all be dead.
You know, Samuel, we saved the best sheep for sacrifices to the Lord.
Which does the Lord prefer, obedience or offerings and sacrifices? It is better to obey him than to sacrifice the best sheep to him. Rebellion against him is as bad as witchcraft. Arrogance is as sinful as idolatry. Because you have rejected the Lord's command, he has rejected you as king.
Yes, I have sinned. I disobeyed the Lord's command and your instructions. I was afraid of my men and I did what they wanted. But now I beg you, forgive my sin. Go back with me so that I can worship the Lord.
I will not go back with you. You rejected the Lord's command, and he has rejected you as the king of Israel.
Oops.
After that, God sent me to pour oil over the head of a teenager named David, the son of Jesse.
I am David.
There were lots of differences between David and Saul. The most important had to do with their tribe. Saul was from the tribe of Benjamin. David was a descendant of Judah. And God had promised that the Messiah would come through Judah, not Benjamin.
Kill him.
In fact, David was the chosen seed of Judah, of Abraham, of Eve herself.
Kill
I
David.
admit it was easy to wonder if maybe David was the Messiah God had promised.
I defeated a giant named Goliath, and the people started liking me even more than they liked King Saul.
At first, Saul liked David.
But then Saul wanted to kill me because he was so jealous.
Kill him! Kill him!
No matter how much I tried to change the king's mind, he was so jealous of me that I finally had to run away.
Find him and kill him.
I started putting together a group of fighters. We lived in the wilderness, in caves, in mountains, and many other places. Again and again, King Saul tried to...
Kill him.
I tried with all of my heart to be a faithful citizen, but King Saul could only think of one thing.
We must kill David.
In the end, Saul died in a great battle. And after a while, David became the king of Israel.
But that's another story.